YouTube live. I've never done a live on YouTube. Don't think. Might get a few people listen to it later on. Are you struggling with your mental health? Male and female. Are you struggling with mental health? Is it because you've got a history of addiction with alcohol and Class A drugs? Or you had a trauma as a youngster and you're carrying it through to your adult life and it's causing you massive problems? I'm feeling your pain. It's very difficult to adjust when you've had traumas as a young kid, male or female. It's very difficult to express the way you feel, even to a counsellor or a professional person that's in that sector. It's very hard to express how you feel because it can be embarrassing sometimes. You believe that. I think the only advice that I could sort of give you, if you want to call it advice, is try and seek help. But the help's got to be the correct help. Otherwise you won't open up. You won't get to the root of the problem. What I've seen and what I've experienced in my own mental health journey of nearly 4 decades, I tried to address it all by myself, and that's possibly, it's almost a suicide mission, I would have thought. I recommend that you seek help. It's so difficult to get any help regarding mental health. You might get an appointment for therapy for you. 8 months later, you get 4 sessions and you're out the door. And most people are not in a position to pay privately to see a counsellor or to see some sort of a mental health worker or a nurse. It costs money. My heart goes out to you people that are struggling like that. You know, it goes on for years and years. You don't see things that go on behind closed doors. Youngsters, single people, widows, elderly people are struggling like hell with mental health. They've got no one to talk to, no one to lean on. They suffer in silence. The suicide rate has gone right off the scale. You just don't hear about it. Why isn't there any help? People sometimes say, Martin, there is help, NHS, but they can't take the workload. If you try and book up an appointment for therapy for you, there's an 8-month waiting list, 8 months. And then all you'll do is get 4 sessions and you're out the door. Is there another angle for you to attack your mental health and just give you a bit of light and a bit of comfort? Very difficult for me to answer that. Most doctors these days, no disrespect, will just send you away and just up your medication from 5 milligrams to 10 to 15 to 20. Risperidone, all kinds of medication. And all that really does is mongs you out. It don't get to the root of the problem. I'm always available to talk about mental health with anyone. I've got 4 decades, 40 years. Listen, I'm still working on myself every day. I find it very difficult to accept love. I find it almost impossible to accept kindness. It's all my own doing. It's no one else's fault. Through my addiction, it's caused me to be very untrustworthy. My mind's shot to bits. I go from one thing to another, so you're very unbalanced. But I'm working on myself every single day. I actually believe a lot of people have possibly got sober and got clean from addictions, whether it be gambling, it could be alcohol, it could be Class A drugs. But you still got a noose around your neck. Me personally, I feel like I've been given a natural life sentence. It's just trying to drag me back in. Trying to drag me back into, you know, in the sewer with the rats. I'm clean nearly 12 years. But let me just enlighten you. For anyone that's watching or you want to share it, I've never done a live on YouTube, so I'm struggling with it like I do with all social media, and I apologise if my tech savvy is very, 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 very poor. I'm an old man of 61 in October. But listen, you know, like I say, I've got nearly 4 decades of mental health. I'm still working on my weaknesses. And I do feel like I've been given a natural life sentence. Even though I haven't drunk, I haven't touched the powder for nearly 12 years. There's something in the back of my mind, because it damages your mind. Any addiction, mental health damages your mindset. I'm a strong believer in that. People just don't understand how you feel inside. You hear the voices, you see things, you hear noises that ain't there. You almost manifest something that's going to make you feel even worse. How you're feeling at present. We all do it, me included. It's all well and good people saying, live your best life and think positive and stay positive. It's not as simple as that. A lot of people that struggle with mental health are in a very dark place. They've never spoke to anyone about it. They've carried it for years and years on their shoulder. That's a heavy load to walk around with, man or a woman, young or old. It's a terrible thing. The help available for mental health is absolutely disgraceful. I've been involved in it. I'm involved with it now. It's got worse. Ring up any organisation for an appointment. There's an 8 to 10 month waiting list. And that's just called therapy for you. You ain't going to see a professional person. You're going to see your doctor. He's going to prescribe you with heavy medication and your name's going to go on the list and you're going to be forgotten about. Martin, is there a way that I can adjust and try and attack my own mental health? Can you advise? I can't advise. I'm struggling myself. But what I can tell you from my experience of nearly 40 years, my mind's been shot to bits and it still is. I'm an open book. I'm up and down. I'm all over the place sometimes. But I just try and deal with one thing at a time. Don't overload your mind. That's a big, big, big mistake. You're putting too much pressure on your mind. People can't take it. They can't cope with it. It brings you down. Then you'll turn to drugs and alcohol or whatever your addiction may be to try and escape the reality. One problem at a time. Try and resolve one problem. It don't matter if it takes you a week. Mark it off your list and move on to the next problem. Because we all wake up, we've always got hurdles to jump over. All of us, mate. Whether you're rich, poor, old, a criminal, you're a straight goer, you're an ex-junkie, you're an ex-pisshead, an ex-criminal. We all struggle. David James, how you doing, mate? And I'm still the same place. Don't know if you remember me. Come in your videos some time ago. David James. Ah, bless you, mate. Double tap the screen to like and share. David James, send me a message, David. I've spoken to so many people, David, to be honest with you. There's so many people that I've spoke to over the last 5 years or 6 years or however long it is since the book's been out. I do sometimes struggle to remember people's names, but I've always got an open door, especially with the mental health. Especially with mental health, because I know how difficult it is. Listen, I'm struggling myself. I lost my father a few months back, and then my sister passed away about 10 weeks after that. So I lost me dad and my sister within a matter of a couple of months. I was in a dark place. I'm always available to help or speak as much as I can, definitely regarding mental health. Don't hesitate to contact me via an email. You can get my email through the website, martinjohngetclean.com. Don't forget, martinjohngetclean.com. I'll always comment, I'll always come back to you regarding mental health. It's something very close to my heart. That's no problem, David. Remember, you can contact me via an email through my website, martinjohngetclean.com. There's so many good people out there struggling with mental health. There's no help. The help available is very limited. People have just forgotten about it, haven't they? What can we do to mend it? What can we do to help each other to get through our dark times? What can we do? I honestly can't answer that. And I've got a lot of experience with addiction, mental health. The list goes on and on. I've got like nearly 40 years experience with it. Obviously, like the wrong experience because I was a user of cocaine and alcohol for nearly 4 decades. I'm an open book. But if you want to talk to me about mental health, you want to contact me via an email, I'm very, 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 very open. I'll always do my best. I'm quite brutal. You must understand that. I don't take no prisoners. But mental health at the moment has gone through the roof. The help available is almost zero. All them poor bastards out there that don't get any help. Excuse my language. It makes me so sad. You've got young kids that have got dysfunctional families. They ain't got no chance at all of the correct start in life. Their mum and dad might be a junkie, pisshead, a criminal, etc, etc, etc. What chance have them poor youngsters got? And then you go to the other end of the scale, old people, veterans, come out of the army, come out of war. You might have come out of a long-term relationship. You could be a very long-term serving prisoner, a Cat A prisoner. You come out, you can't cope. You've got no help. The help available is disgraceful. They send you to see a probation officer, a young kid, 22, 24. What life experience have they got? How can you possibly speak to a man that served double figures in prison, that's looking for an angle to turn his life around? Now he's on Civvy Street. They just turn back to crime. They don't know no different. There's no one there showing them there's another way to live. I'd love to get involved and do something like that. I was working with the probation, but I fell out of them because they're not on the same level as myself. They're making me sit there with young kids that are probation officers. No offence. Social services. It just don't work, does it? They've got the wrong staff, the wrong type of people. They've got no lived experience at all. And they're putting them in big groups with prisoners that have come out that are doing 15 to 20 years. And they're sitting with these youngsters. It's not the youngsters' fault. It's the people. I'm struggling with addiction and really bad mental health, Martin. I'll be in contact very soon. Make sure you do, David. This is the problem we've got. There's no one available, just my opinion, that can sit down and talk to a group of people that you can relate with. You've got a good connection. It gives you a bit of hope. I don't read from the script. No offence to conventional groups. I'm not being rude. But if you sit with a conventional group, they're going to read from the script. You can't live your life like that. None of our lives is scripted out. We don't know what's round the corner. We ain't got a tube of glue what's going to be going on, let alone tomorrow, let alone right now. I'd love to make some sort of a group where we can all sit round. I'll maybe take sort of 6 people at a time and sit with them and listen to their stories, and we'll all engage with each other. We'll all swap our stories and our dramas and our dysfunctional upbringings and our dramas, our traumas. Let's all try and grab a little bit of each other to give us a bit of hope, to know that there are others out there that are going through the same as you, but you haven't got the opportunity to sit with them because it's a very closed shop, mental health. No one's available to put these groups together. Well, I'm putting myself up for that task. If anyone's got any ideas, or you want to get involved with me, or you want to give me some guidance that you've got, you may be involved with groups and you feel there's a niche in the market, excuse the pun, for someone like myself to come along and try and give people some light. I'm rough and ready as it goes. Everyone knows that. My history is absolutely dreadful. I was a crackhead, a cokehead, a pisshead for 40 years. I've caused drama, chaos, anarchy, depression, sadness. I've fucked about with loads of different people. Terrible, terrible, terrible journey I've had. But I'm going to try and use that to encourage others that you can repair and you can turn that corner with the right tools in your bag, with the right people. 15 minutes I've done here. It's been fantastic. I don't know how it's gone. Please try and share it, or what you have to do with it. I've got no idea how this works. I've done a little bit on TikTok, on Instagram and Facebook for years and years on and off regarding the book. I'll just give you a quick heads up before I have a cup of coffee. I'm doing a podcast in London tomorrow. It's the first one ever. I don't do none of them. I've been asked by all the top podcasters over the last 5 or 6 years, but I've decided not to do it. But tomorrow, I'm going to do a podcast with a man. I was recommended. I thought, you know what, I'll do one. Just going to do one. I had no intentions of doing it, but a very good friend of mine, a very well-read man, has done a podcast with a certain individual. And he said to me, Martin, you've got to go on there and let people listen to your story, the way you come across with your unusual personality and the way you're quite brutal with a sense of humour. And that in itself gave me the edge to give it a go. So we're going to be filming tomorrow. I'll keep you up to date with it all, people. Please feel free to comment about this video and share it. I don't know how you do that. I've got no idea. If you want to contact me with a message, or you're stuck, your son or your daughter, your aunt, your uncle, your wife, your mistress, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, both if you're lucky, yeah? You feel that I could be the man that's going to give you a little bit of encouragement to possibly try and get yourself out of the sewer and get your life back, feel free to contact me. Only through the website, martinjohngetclean.com. I should have stuck that up on here, shouldn't I, before I sort of progressed into doing this live. 16 minutes, I've had a few people watching. I'm over the moon. Please send me any advice or any free tips that can encourage me to get more people watching, because I'm still a dinosaur when it comes to social media. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've had fun. I mean it in a sincere way. You know, like I said, it's so difficult for mums and dads that have got youngsters that are struggling with mental health. They've got no mentor. There's no centres open. There's no meetings. It's all very, very, very upside down. I'm putting my name forward. Please try and share the post or let people know this fella. He sounds like he's a real deal, and he could, you know, could encourage me son or my daughter or my wife or my boyfriend, etc., etc., etc. There may be an angle for you to escape of being in the dark by exploring something with me, jumping onto one of my group meetings. I've got no idea how you put a group meeting together. I really don't know. I'm open to options. Maybe I could get a hall and put 6 people in there once a week. Some sort of a workshop, if you want to call it a workshop. Nothing scripted out. We just all turn up, have a cup of tea and a biscuit, and we all crack on with each other, and I could mentor people. Sounds like a great idea. Because if not, your mental health's going to spiral out of control. You're going to use drugs again, or if you're already using, you're going to increase your drugs. You're going to drink more. Your life's going to deteriorate worse than what it is now. What can we lose? I'm so grateful for people watching. I'm going to end the post now. Sending big love. Don't forget, contact me by my website only, please. Or you can drop me a message on here. The website is martinjohngetclean.com. I'm sending big love. Thank you.